Nathan. Today we'll be reading another story about Diary of a Wimpy Kid. And let's get started. Monday. This video game ban is a lot tougher than I thought it would be. But at least I'm not the only one in the family who's in trouble. Roderick in some hot water with Mom right now too. Manny got a hold of one of Roderick's heavy metal magazines, and one of the pages has a picture of a woman in bikini lying across the hood of a car. And then Manny brought it into daycare and for show and tell. Anyway, I don't think Mom's too happy about getting that phone call. I saw the magazine myself, and honestly, I don't think it's anything to get worked up over. But Mom doesn't allow that kind of stuff in the house. Roderick's punishment was that he had to answer a bunch of questions, and Mom wrote for him. Did owning this magazine make you a better person? No. Did it make you more popular at school? No. How do you feel about having owned this type of magazine now? I feel ashamed. Do you have anything that you want to say to women for owning this offensive magazine? I'm sorry, woman. Well, I'm still grounded for playing video games, so Manny has been using my system. My mom went out and bought a bunch of educational video games, and watching Manny play them is like torture. What comes after 2 and rhymes with tree? It's 3! The good news is I finally figured out a way to get some game past Rolly's dad. I just put one of my discs in Manny's Discovering Alphabet case, and that's all it takes. At school today, they announced that the student government elections are coming up. To be honest with you, I have never any interest in student government, but when I started thinking about it, I realized getting elected to be the treasurer will be totally changing my situation at school. We cheerleaders are trying to ride in the games same as the nerds are in the band. Let me see what I can do. And even better, we jocks just need an air pump to inflate our only football. Nobody ever thinks about running for the treasurer because everyone, everything that people care is like the big tickets position, like the president and the vice president. So I figured out if I sign up tomorrow, the treasurer job is pretty much mine to take it. Today I went up to put my name on the list to run for treasurer. Unfortunately, this kid named Pt.3 is running for treasurer too. And he's really brainy in math, so this might be not as easy as I thought. I told Dad about the running for student government, and he seemed pretty excited. It turns out he ran for student government when he was my age, and he actually won. Dad dug through some old boxes in the basement and found one of his campaign posters. I thought the poster idea was pretty good, so I asked Dad to drive me to the store and get me some supplies. I loaded up on poster board and markers. I spent all the rest of the night making campaign stuff. So let's just hope these posters work. So I bought my posters to school today, and I have to say it came out pretty good. But I started hanging my posters up as soon as I got in, but only up for 3 minutes before Vice Principal Roy spotted me. Mr. Roy said that you weren't allowed to write fabrications to other candidates. So I told Mr. Roy that the thing about headlights was true and how it particularly closed down the whole school when it happened. But he took down my posters away, so today Pt.3 is going to hand out lollipops to buy himself votes while my poster was sitting at the bottom of Mr. Roy's trash can. I guess this means my political career is finally over. Well, it's finally October, and there are only 30 days until Halloween. Halloween is my favorite holiday, even though Mom says that I'm getting too old to go to trick-or-treating anymore. Halloween is Dad's favorite holiday too, but for a different reason. On Halloween night, while all the other parents are handing out candy, Dad is hiding in the bushes with a trash can full of water. If any teenagers pass by our driveway, he'll drench them. I'm not sure Dad really understands the concept of Halloween, but I'm not going to be the one who spoils his fun. Today, I was opening night for Crossland High School Haunted House, so I got Mom to agree to take me with Rolly. Rowley showed up in my house wearing Halloween costume from last year, and when I called him earlier, I told him to just wear regular clothes, but of course he didn't listen. I tried to not let it bother me too much though, but I've never allowed it to go to Crossland Haunted House before. I wasn't going to get Rowley to ruin it for me. Roderick has told me all about it. I've been looking forward to this for about 3 years. Anyway, when we got to the entrance, I started having second thoughts. But Mom seems like she was in a hurry to get this over with, so she moved us along. Once we went through the gate, it was one scare after another. There were vampires jumping out at you, and people felt heads and all sorts of crazy stuff. But the worst part was the area called Chainsaw Alley. There was a really big guy in a hockey mask and had a real chainsaw. Roderick told me that the chainsaw has a rubber blade, but I wasn't taking any chances. Right when it looked like the chainsaw guy was going to catch us, Mom stepped in and bailed us out. Mom made the chainsaw guy show us where was the exit, and that's the end of our haunted house experiments right there. I guess it was a little embarrassing when Mom did that, but I'm willing to let it go this one time. The Crossland Haunted House really got me thinking. Those guys were charging $5 a pop, and the line is stretched halfway around the school. I decided to make a haunted house of my own. Actually, I had to bring Rolly on the deal because Mom wouldn't let me convert our first floor into a full-out haunted mansion. I knew Rolly's dad wouldn't be that crazy about the idea either, so we built the haunted house in his basement and not just mentioned it to his parents. Me and Rolly spent most of the day coming up with this awesome plan of our haunted house. But here's our final plan. Hall Scream, Lid of Grudge, Bottomless Pit, Maze of 1,000 Skulls, Rat Tunnel, Knife Alley, Hand Hall, Death Slide, Exit Lake. I don't mean to brag or anything, but we came up was way better than the Crossland High School haunted house. Well, we realized that we were going to need this word out and we were doing this thing, so we got some paper and made a bunch of flyers. I admit maybe we stretched the truth a little in our advertisement, but we need to make sure that people actually showed up. By the way, we finished putting the flyers up in the neighborhood and got back to Rolly's basement. It was already 2:30 and we hadn't even started putting the actual haunted house together yet. So we had to cut some corners from our original plan. So when 3 rolled around, we looked outside if anyone showed up, and sure enough, there were about 20 neighborhood kids waiting in the line outside Rolly's basement. Now I know our flyers had said admission was 50 cents, but I see that we can have a chance to make a killing here. So I told the kids that the admission was $2 and the 50-cent thingy was just a typo. The first kid to cough up his $2 was Shane Sneela. He paid his money and we let him inside, and me and Rolly took our positions in the Hall of Screams. The Hall of Scream was basically a bed with me and Rolly in the either side of it. Maybe we made the Hall of Scream a little too scary because halfway through, Shane curled up in the ball underneath the bed. We tried to get him crawl out from there, but he wouldn't budge. I started thinking about all the money we were losing on this kid clogging up in the Hall of Screams, and I knew I had to get him out quick. Eventually, Rolly's dad came downstairs. At first, I was happy to see him because I thought he could drag us Shane out of the bed and make our haunted house creaking again. But Rolly's dad wasn't even in a helpful mood. Rolly's dad wanted to know what we were doing and why Shane Sneela curled up under the bed. We told him that the basement is actually a haunted house, and Shane Sneela actually paid for us to do this. But Rolly's dad didn't believe us. I admit, if you looked around, it didn't really look like a haunted house. All we had to put together was the hall of screams and a lake of blood, which was just Rolly's old baby pool with half a bottle of ketchup in it. We tried to show Rolly's our original plan to prove that we were running a leg movement operation, but he still didn't seem that convinced. To make a long story short, that was the end of our haunted house. The good news is, since Rolly's dad didn't believe us, they didn't even let us to refund Shane's money. So at least we cleared $2 today. So let's end it today and see you next time. Bye.